Hey, good evening and welcome back, everyone. We are here for the second game of the Lightweight Scrim Gym. It's going to be Y2E Dragons versus Unforgiven Garama Yahoo.
Maya, he,
Stop
Maya,
that.
ha.
You
Add that
didn't
song
have
there,
to.
folks, and you know exactly
You
how it
didn't have
goes.
to.
That's all I'm going to say. We do have the first round bans. We have Morgana Kaisa and Scion banned by the side of Mayahi. And we do have by the side of the Dragons, the Jin, Ezreal, and Renekton bans.
I'm not sure how I feel about Jin in this particular meta, but that may be a specific call out there. I'm seeing the Shen and the Echo locked in as picks so far for the side of Unforgiven, matched by the Malphite and the
And
Lynx.
the Talia to join it now. So
Mhm.
that's quite a nice
Is
little
Talia
burst of AP.
is Talia a thing again?
It is, but realistically, it's not as big as you would think. It's very small, and it's actually more in the jungle than anywhere else right now.
Okay.
And it's not really seen at any high levels of play. I mean, it's seen, but it's not heard. It's not on the professional stage much, so that's kind of where you would get your gauge for how popular is it.
Mhm.
It's there, but it's not super popularized. Same with the Cassiopeia, although it has seen more professional play recently than Talia. It's also one of those mid laners that's kind of like nobody really knows what to do with it. You have to get pretty deep into the professional mid lane pools before you see a Cassiopeia popping out.
And I think it's one of those things where you want to use it in a very specific composition. Like the machine gun style mages have always kind of had a perennial popularity, but Cassiopeia needs to be well defended to the point where she is able to come online and really be a major threat. And we'll see if My Eyes No Open Yet is capable of doing that.
Yeah, and something that is kind of important to note, we are seeing the non-pro draft version here.
Yes.
In the actual pro draft, the Cassiopeia and Malphite were picked in the same rotation after they saw an Orianna ban. So that's kind of interesting to me because when you see those bans, you think after a pro draft, oh, well, maybe they had locked the Malphite and then bans came through. So they banned the Orianna, so there was no really easy ball comp
Mm-hmm.
with the Elise Malphite. But no, actually, they chose the Cassiopeia willingly
Mm-hmm.
uh, with no Orianna ban having come through yet. So that's kind of interesting to me.
That
I don't
speaks of
know why.
that speaks of personal preference to me for that Cassiopeia, and you can do a lot with the champion if you're allowed to. It's just a question of getting to that point. So, looking at the
You
other side of the
absolutely can.
board, Jinx and now likely to be Thresh locked in here for the side of Unforgiven, and that's an
It
interesting
will
bot
be.
lane combination. I mean, the Thresh gives Jinx some survivability, but Jinx still pretty vulnerable to that CC.
I feel like the reason why they went with this lane, the Jinx Thresh, is because you have a lot in the line of gank assist, right? Echo, not known to be the world's best gank man. He's known to be really good if you set him up, he can help you finish it off. And
Right.
Thresh and Jinx have a lot of that ability, a lot of that zone control
Mm-hmm.
with the Flay, with the Thresh box, with the Death Sentence, with the Flame Chompers from Jinx, with the Zap.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of zoning CC tools that are utilized by this bot lane that allow the Echo to come in after he set up his CC to follow you up and help you with this gank. So I understand the lane. And it is also that Thresh is in a really, really good place in the meta
Oh yeah,
right
for
now.
sure, for sure.
And a lot of ADCs were actually targeted out. And I think that Jinx being the historical kind of a very old historical, date myself a little bit. It was a very historical ADC matchup back in seasons 3 and 4 after Jinx's release.
Yeah, historical, dude. That makes me feel ancient, man. Like I remember watching season one Worlds live.
Oh my gosh. I never watched season 1 Worlds live, but I did watch season 2 live. That was the best of sweeps.
Well, season two was
Memes.
really a different. It was really the start of professional league. Season one was the finals in freak Swedish basement come to mind
Yeah.
immediately, and
Yes. It was a LAN tournament. I
oh
mean, it
yeah, it
really
was
was. It
DreamHack.
was the LAN tournament that enough people called the World Championship, including Riot Games, that it was recognized as such.
Right, and it's really what's really interesting to me is that if you look at the best players in the world or the winning the like take a look at the world finals from season one versus season two. I think that if you transplanted the players from season two to today, they would still be like diamond level. But
Yeah, most of them would.
if you look at the level of play from season one, I would strongly believe that a well-organized Plat 5 squad would win Season 1 Worlds.
Well, back then, I mean, the concepts of the game, the words of the game, the meta game that we now know to be League of Legends had not yet been defined.
Season 1 Worlds is where having an 80 carry and support duo bottom was like actually just trotted out. Before Season 1 Worlds, you just played whatever, man.
Yeah, you did. And in Season 2 Worlds, that kind of introduced the concept of pressure and priority. That was why TPA won, was because they were the only team that seemed to understand pressure and priority.
I would also say that even into Season 2, there were certain players who you had to ban pocket picks from or you just auto-lost. And Season 1 Worlds specifically, there was a very interesting thing that I recall hearing. It's that Ocelot from SK at the time had told Froggen that if you had banned Toys' Orianna, you guys would have won Worlds. Because that was a big determining factor, is that Toys on Orianna was unbeatable at the time. And that combined with the cheesy blue Ezreal strat was more than enough to propel TPA to World Champions. And then Season 3 rolls around, and we hit Modern.
I was going to say that to an extent, that and Shyvana Jungle.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought Shyvana Jungle was useless until they introduced the concept of priority, and then all of a sudden Shyvana Jungle just owned the map.
Well, it was a lot of that comes down to the Moscow 5 really implementing the concept of counter jungling to a big extent. Like, they brought that onto the world stage, and then other teams took notice and kind of figured that out. But it was a very exploratory time in League of Legends history, and it's super fascinating to go back and watch the games because, like, the skill level of individual players is not that high by today's standards in the slightest. But
no, not really.
that's just the difference that years of accumulated experience make.
Yep, we have kind of deviated. We kind of turned this into a bit of a podcast episode.
Load screen, come on, man.
It was load screen. But now heading into the matchup, based off of draft, I would probably. Ooh, it's actually really hard to say who I would sooner give it to. Mm-hmm. Just because Y2E, I think, have a better 5v5 for most of the game. But I think there is a distinct point around level 13 to about level 16 that if executed correctly, Mayaha can just go absolutely over the top and win the game.
And if you look at some of the champions they've locked in, like the pop-off potential on Jinx is nutty. Like, if Jinx can get ahead, she can just totally blow the game wide open. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there really aren't that many people on the side of Y2E. No, on Y2E.
Oh, on Y2E.
Who are capable of reaching that Jinx if she positions properly.
Yeah, not too capable of reaching her, but certainly the Caitlyn will always have to be watched for as far as reaching goes, and the unstoppable flash R of Malphite can never be counted out. Which is kind of where, we end up getting into the, humming and humming, how does one?
All right.
How does one protect the Jinx in this game?
Are you ready to go with the live broadcast there, my friend?
I certainly am.
All right. So we have loaded in onto the Rift here, champion summoned onto the fountain, and we are good to go with the second game of the night. It's good to be underway finally after the pause problems we had in game number 1. We seem to be past technical difficulties as both of these teams scream off the fountain.
Yep, heading off the fountain here. I was talking just a little bit with Gas Pump in the load screen, and the universal agreement here between the two teams, the differences is that Y2E's comp has a better 5v5 team fight for most of the game. However, from about levels 13 to 17, there is a significant advantage to Mayaho, Mayahaha, and there is also always the potential of the fact that they have drafted a Jinx, And if Jinx is fed and unable to be touched, she can single-handedly carry a game. So it will be interesting to see if they are able to do that, or if Y2E will be able to claw something back.
And that's the outscale potential, right? I mean, the Cassiopeia and the Caitlyn, both very strong champions. Caitlyn does hit that mid-game power trough, which is where the Jinx starts turning online. And have to watch out for that, as well as the fact that there are some really strong diving champions here. I mean, you have the Flash Shen taunt to really get across the team, and Echo certainly has potential, the ability to get into that back line, but we'll have to see how both teams capitalize on this. It was a 5-man line of scrimmage between both these squads, something fancy, and we're seeing that mirrored mirrored red buff start for both of these junglers.
Yep, we do see the mirrored red buff start. We also do see that Nautilus got a deep ward behind the red buff. Not really a very useful location, because with the lack of early scuttle crab spawns, if this Echo paths properly, that ward will never see him.
And again, the lack of the vision there in lane could end up being a factor, potentially, depending on the jungle pathing from this Echo. So we'll have to see what decisions are made there between these two. And Elise definitely on the top side of the jungle, going for the golems as well as the Echo. Certainly might look for some early pressure on this Shen, but
yeah, might look for the early pressure. Malphite conceding right now the laning priority. Kind of just content to sit there, let Shen auto him, which should be screaming in Shen's mind, okay, I know that the jungler started up here. He's conceding priority to me. I know that my jungler is not up here. I need to be careful.
right, and that's just that lane discipline coming through in a big way there. Beats by Draven on the Shen, playing things pretty conservatively. Malphite actually has both of these top laners have a lot of damage and a lot of things they can bring to the table in these 1v1 plays in the early game, and an early kill in Gold League could really skew the way this matchup plays out. So both top laners can be looking to be safe here, at least at this part of the match.
Yep, they do. They both these top laners, as you said, a lot of high base damage, lot of ability for the 2v2 ganks from their junglers to come in, because honestly, neither of these two should be getting kills. However, I do believe that Malphite is going full AP based on his rune choice, which is the more cheese build. So honestly, at that point, you can argue that he does deserve kills, as he is going a one-shot build.
Right, and I mean, Shen as a champion is more or less immune to a lot of the tricks that AP Malphite puts down, especially if he's able to get that Spectre's Cowl. Being able to mitigate those base damages is a major factor, even if the Malphite looking to go with some AP itemization as champion.
Yep, and there is certainly that, though. As we do see Elise, though, she is pathing behind this Talia's vision, so it is going to be interesting to see if this Talia does get caught out here.
Stepping on the grounded field, Echo is here, forced to flash on out defensively. Will pop the Elise on back under tower. Eats the tower shot. It's 1-for-1. First blood goes to the Elise. Echo still on the chase, but my eyes not open yet. We'll be finding it on the back side of that, but still Elise the beneficiary of a little extra dosh. The actual first blood.
Yep, it was a really, really solid attempt here out of Y2E. And they were able to get the first blood. Unfortunately, due to improper tower aggro shifting, it does end in the Elise's death. However, first blood is first blood. But I do believe that if they had played it a little better, it could have gone without being traded.
And that's just, it's always in a scramble situation difficult to do Malphite in trouble here. One more auto is enough. Beats by Draven, lock up the solo kill, and Flaming Thunder. Total disrespect there on the Shen damage.
Yeah, honestly, Flaming Thunder, you're going AP Malphite here, or at least that's what your runes show you're going, and you're trying to fight this Shen, which has started the tankier build and has high base damages. It's really just not smart on your part, also being low on mana, to then decide, oh, I can 1v1 this guy who has a lot of high base damage.
Now on to Sablin in the mid lane. The gank coming through a second time in a Hack's Mist, cleaning up a second kill. Sablin never saw it coming.
Yeah, honestly, for Sablin here, just playing really disrespectful. You don't have the appropriate ward coverage. This Elise has come in on the exact same gank path 2 times in a row. And you have changed nothing about what you're doing. You're just shoving in. So, really, I cannot say that was particularly well played on the side of Y2E, but rather that was just extremely poorly played on the side of Mayahi.
Kiora going to get slowed on down there. Does eat the hook. Going on through the disrespect is so huge. The Ignite ticking, and Sup guys taking the kill.
Yep, Sup guys Ignite there, going to be crucial. However, we are probably going to see this Drake go over to the side of Y2E, which it will.
Elise going to be in trouble. Flashes over the wall. The rest of the team not following. Looking for that zap from the Jinx. Will not land onto that Cassiopeia. Looking to run down that jungle there. Hex missed over the wall. Do a bush here coming on through. Going to be looking for the execute into tower. Does Jinx have the zap? No! And the execute for Hex missed.
Yep, saves that bounty. It's not going to be going on to anybody just yet. Important to know that that bounty can now, though, increase. Does keep the Elise off the map, so maybe they get something out of this. I don't realistically see anything coming out of that. It's a good by Hexmas to get the execute. However, luckily, Riot, in their benevolence, does not make bounties go away for execute, because that would be broken.
Oh, true enough on that one left age. Shen eating that wave top lane. Does still have that advantage against the Malphite, who is gone for the Ruby Crystal and boots that little extra tankiness earlier. Gonna make it difficult to deal with the Shen, who already has the Bomb Cinder, that ticking magic damage. Not something that is really easy to itemize for the Malphite. Still getting everything they want. That, man, the dodge field that Shen can put down, as well as that pass-through damage. You got to be real careful when you try to fight him. He does a deceptive amount of damage with those first 3 auto attacks after the Spirit Blade pass-through.
Yeah, and as Malphite, that's kind of a feels bad, man, because a lot of your trading is tied to that W active,
right,
which gives you extra damage on your auto attacks. Dodge field says that that part of your kit just no longer exists.
Right, for at least a second or two, but Elise up top now. Going to be looking for beats by Draven. Throwing out the Cocoon will go wide. Eats the Spider, but no additional damage. Oh, man. That taunt coming up just short on the Elise.
Yeah, honestly, if that hit, I think the Elise becomes half health and maybe has to blow Flash there. Or at the very least loses pressure on the map and has to farm a lot of jungle camps there. So kind of just unfortunate that the taunt didn't land. Overall, though, well played by the Shen. Kind of seems like Malphite is a little bit away off in La La Land because the Elise was there to gank you, and either there was a miscommunication because you didn't follow up, or there was a lack of understanding by the Elise that Malphite wouldn't be following up.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you do need to get those CS, assess the wave, make sure that you're able to get those creeps and keep it pushed into a decent place, but at the same time, it's got to pay attention. Elise still hovering the top side of the map. Loco, Spoon, and Kiora are going to be clearing out this pink ward on the bottom side of the map and helping to deny some of that safe vision for the Jinx and the Thresh, who are down 20 CS in this matchup currently.
Yeah, they are down quite a lot, and that is just due to the fact that Caitlyn against Jinx early, Jinx just gets shoved in because she gets bullied by Caitlyn's extra range. And there's nothing really that Jinx can do to change that. All that can happen is that the jungler comes down and gets the Jinx early kills, which is why it was a historical matchup for the Jinx, but it was historically a matchup that Jinx lost.
Right, you kind of picked the Caitlyn there, though. The Caitlyn doesn't have the same massive late-game pop-off potential that this Jinx does, and if Poles is able to get further and further into this game, build himself some good itemization there, certainly capable of taking this Caitlyn, though. The one thing that I will say is huge for Caitlyn is this play goes into the mid lane, popping Ignite out of my eyes, no open yet. Zeppelin does have the flash, but will not use that. The siege potential from the Caitlyn is always huge.
Yeah, my eyes no open yet. Having to kind of run away, tail between legs, as the Talia did shove him out of lane. With that exceptional...
Echo is here, though. That's the depth charge going on down. Looking for the pull onto this Nautilus. Will get stunned. The Echo damage is huge. But there's the root coming on down. Poles gets the last auto attack. The Ignite is there. What a great flash play going down. Caitlyn will get that kill, but wanders straight into the hook. Poles picking up a second double for the Jinx.
And that will be an exceptional double kill for that Jinx. Very much so needed on Poles. As I said, the best thing that you can do there is call your jungler down, say, hey, look, I'm down, I'm Jinx. I lose this matchup early until Caitlyn hits her power trough, unless you help me hit a power spike first. Echo doing his job, coming on down there, giving that Jinx the double kill. This Jinx should be able to back here and get quite a lot here on this back. Finish the boots, get some more components towards that Infinity Edge, and that's going to be feeling very, very nice.
Right, but it wasn't a total shutout either. Caitlyn was able to lock in that kill against the Echo, and picking that one up going to be a major benefit for the AD carry from Y2E Dragons.
Yep, absolutely. I said, yep, absolutely. It will feel pretty good on the Caitlyn. However, I would still take an Infinity Edge Jinx over Infinity Edge Components Caitlyn any day of the year.
Oh, yeah. You get that acceleration on the Jinx, and those crits start coming down like hammer blows. You really got to watch out, especially if once that Jinx gets the second item, probably a Runhan's Hurricane coming on through there. The damage can be absurd.
Yep, as we do see an interesting gank coming down towards the bot lane.
Gonna see all the friends here. Caitlyn does go over the wall. Loco Spoon could be in trouble. There's the pop on back coming through. Lantern for the Thresh, looking for that flay coming on in. Loco Spoon goes down. My eyes not open yet. Getting those hits on through the Echo. Oh, comes back through. There's the pass. Trading 1 for 1, but CN Sup guys taking a fair share of damage. Shen does have the ultimate, but no way to use it. Hexmas dropping low, but will still survive. The rocks from Sablin enough to clean up the kill onto that Elise. Shen does still have his ultimate available. Stand United could come through. Quora is low. You're seeing the flash play come through there, trading with the Caitlyn, and play at the end of the day goes in advantage of Y2E. Great play on the rotation from them.
I mean, does it though? I don't actually think it did, because there was a shutdown picked up on that Elise by a carry on the side of Maya He. So even though it was a 3 for 2, the shutdown on the Elise was picked up by the Talia, and they did blow a lot of summoner spells from the side of Y2E Dragons, while the flash on their Jinx is still up, as well as that flash on their Echo.
The other part that's interesting here, too, is they're going to be able to take this Infernal Drake now, tying that score up. Things would have been a little iffy if they hadn't gotten that Dragon still, but I think that picking up that neutral objective really does put the favor 100% on the play there for Unforgiven. And from that point here... Yes.
We are seeing here this Jinx really starting to come online, is itemizing definitely towards a recurve bow item of some kind. I would assume that it will be the Runhan's Hurricane coming in for this Jinx, but we'll have to see as the build materializes itself. We do see Talia also hitting a power spike now of that Luden's Echo. And it is important to note, although Shen did have ultimate, there was no way in which he could use it, because that Malphite was watching that play happen and was just walking at Shen the entire time and was sitting in ult range. So if Shen tries to channel that ult, Malphite just immediately stops him.
It's worth mentioning that the shield value from Stand United still goes off even if the ult is interrupted, so it could be used as a clutch bit of additional health. But you're absolutely correct. Malphite for that one. Ooh, but here's the stun coming on through. Oh, Sablin caught hugely out of position there. Didn't have the vision as Echo was leaving the jungle on that play. A questionable coordination there from the mid-jungle duo.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an interesting call, you might say.
Elise is down here looking for sub guys. Gonna be looking to dive into the cocoon. Can't quite find it here. Jinx getting those rockets on through. Will dodge that out. Sub guys being the victim there. Shen looking for the play up the top lane and not gonna find much.
Honestly, this Elise's success can be summed up in 3 words: poor vision control. There is none by the side of Maya He down here in this little avenue between the mid and bot lane along this path behind Maya He's red buff. If they had wards down in this area, there is no way that this Elise moves with impunity through here, and there is no way that these ganks keep coming off at these seemingly impossible angles.
Ooh. Speaking of impossible, that damage coming through from the Cassiopeia at just 1.5 items is already terrifying, to be quite frank. Even matched by the Luden's Echo, it's going to be a tough sell for this Talia moving forward.
Yeah, it was Yeah, definitely just a very interesting plays here coming out from this Cassiopeia, this itemization.
That damage on the Nautilus is huge already. Smashing those rockets on down there. There's the Flay coming through. Kiora. Hook still available from this Thresh, looking for the pop-off play. Loco Spoon dropping real low there. Will eat that hook. Managed to get on out, courtesy of the anchor toss, but still a pickup onto Kiora despite getting that first tower of the game. More money into the Jinx pocket is a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, Jinx now at 3-1-3, starting to really get that gold up. Getting a turret here would help. It's unfortunate that the first turret did drop, and that at least seems to just be shadowing the bot side of the map here, because no longer able to kill this Shen at a Sunfire Cape and Merc Treads completed. Means that realistically Elise only has 2 places to go, and that is mid or bot lane, and since they have most of their vision control there, it would certainly seem like that is the better option for this.
The Elise damage from Hex Mist is huge there, taking a second tower with that attack speed and the push. That's just the power of this Elise pick, the ability to take that second tower, and despite that 2-tower difference, the gold is even. And as you said in the pregame, at that level 13 to 16 mark is when this squad from Unforgiven really comes into its own. If they can get there, got a good chance looking at the gold score so far.
Certainly, they do have that very large chance to come back here, especially when we look at the fact that this Jinx is the one getting all those kills and is the one kind of keeping that gold lead pretty close. That was the major carry condition that we identified. And right now, the team Y2E, they are playing to this condition. They are playing to have the Jinx hyper carry them. The only question will be, is we have yet to see Malphite join the fights. Now that Malphite is kind of rotated down towards the bottom side and he's joining these fights, will they still be able to protect this Jinx?
Right, and that's going to be a major conditioner here as far as the way this game continues to play out. Shen has a Stand United backup, does have the rank 2 of that. As this Infernal Drake spawns, both teams going to be looking to take this objective. Talia will need to pre-position a little bit here, does have some of that strength for the team there. Malphite is around. They're going to be looking to contest this, but the front line is very, very strong. Already going on in. Fresh taking the brunt of that assault, looking for the traded on stuns there. Here's the Stand United coming through from the Shen. Does still have that taunt available, looking for the hook. Finds the Nautilus. Will not decide to go in. Looks like a clean dragon take with no further follow-up from either of these teams.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say about
Elise
the Thresh,
eats that stun. The repel is in. We're not going to find any way on out of that one. Flashes.
Bye, Elise.
But will go down to the Echo. 2 flashes pop right there, both from the Shen and Echo. Exchange for that.
Yeah, the Echo Flash not necessary there. The Shen, yes. I mean, it was going to be a very valid trade. Now it's kind of an even trade because you lost the 2 flashes for a shutdown, mind you. But still not exactly something that you wanted to burn flash for.
Especially the Shen flash. The ability to get in there with that taunt is such a major resource to the Shen. But still, at least getting the shutdown onto the Elise there is a major bit of gold. For now, the Echo. 2 and 2 on the board, looking for that second major item with the Hextech Proto Belt.
Yep, he is currently building towards that. He is actually going to be coming pretty close after this back. Yeah, he should have it. If he backs right now, he has it. He only needs 650 gold, and he has over 1,300. So
probably looking for the boot pickup along with the Hextech there, which is pretty reasonable. Also getting this blue off the map into the Talia's pockets. Or just
yeah, once he has blue, he's got enough for boots. He's just kind of staying out on the map to try to maximize the gold here.
Right, 20 minutes now. The Baron has spawned. 3 Infernals have already spawned as the first 3 of the game, but the extra bonus AP and AED not going to be massive as it potentially could be. Beats by Derby needs to be real careful. He'll will pop the dash there, the taunt on through. I'm surprised that Flaming Thunder didn't go for the ult on that one, but hook landing onto the Elise. The damage is huge. Looking for the repel now, and CN's up, guys. Able to lock in that kill. Hook does not land onto the Cassiopeia. The flash is coming through in a big way. Oh, and the hook But here's Echo going to get the stun onto 2, but a big Cassiopeia will lock them down. Here comes the Shen. The Mule just able to take the Cassiopeia down. The ultimate not going to get popped there. Looking for the Jinx Rocket. The Sablin will get that kill and ends up being a 4 for 2 in favor of Unforgiven. What a huge play.
Look at the levels. They hit level 13.
On the Shen. You got a couple levels before you start turning back.
On the Shen, the Talia, and the Echo, that is the level 13 mark in the game, is when your solo lanes end up hitting that level. So that is because
at least making a mistake.
That was really disrespectful. And that's just going to be your stopwatch. That was, I mean, maybe if you have Zhonya's on back, there was no reason to burn it. But honestly, that was just disrespectful. You stepped up with no turret against a pushing Talia, Jinx, and Shen. In what world do you win? In what world do you survive?
You can't just bank for your opponents to be asleep at the wheel, which is seemingly what Hexmas did there. The lack of respect is real. Going from a very strong score like 5-2 to 5-6 very, very quickly. It's disrespect and positioning that's mostly cost them in the last few moments of this game.
It's been disrespected positioning. It's also been that fact that he no longer has those free avenues of moving between lanes to gank. We have gotten out of laning phase. We're now in this phase where everybody's moving around the jungle in groups, and everybody is looking to get advantages and be moving with their team to different objectives and to different points on the map. And this Elise just keeps getting caught in rotation because this Elise is just alone all the time.
Yeah, and you have to be careful, especially at this point where you're seeing the Jinx nearly at 3 items on the board compared to the Caitlyn's 2. And, I mean, Kiora isn't weak by any means, but this Jinx has the pop-off potential and is really making it happen this game.
Yeah, certainly working for it. And playing for their team, this Jinx is doing a fantastic job here. Probably now moving, it's either going to be that static shiv or that rapid fire cannon. Personally, I believe it will be the rapid fire cannon, but depending on how this Jinx wants to itemize, I've been wrong before.
The extra auto attack range for that first rocket on the rapid fire cannon can just be so crushing, especially in a siege situation. I really like seeing that if you're looking to press the advantage as a squad here. And
yeah, that first rocket can be extremely massive here. That bonus damage, that bonus range, and then of course the fact that it's Jinx, and just it's Jinx is kind of your answer to is it enough damage for any question.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Just the most random sidestep there from Poles, saving his life against the Nautilus hook. That was pure luck going on in here. Elise has arrived. Does manage to get the steal. Jinx caught up in the backline. That's 2 down in a moment. But Echo able to ult on backwards, trying to salvage the fight. But there's no way to make it happen with 3 already dead. Sablin said scattering and beat by Draven on the retreat. The last order from the Caitlyn not going to land in a total rout in favor of Y2E.
Yeah, they did pick up a few kills there. They got 3 kills. They got the dragon. Oh, as a pause does come down here.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
But they did get the 3 kills, and they did get the dragon here, which is important to note, which is pretty big for them because it was, at this point in the game, they were starting to lose it. They're starting to lose their hold on it. Now, here's the issue that I see moving forward, is that they can't afford now to get overconfident and think that this means that they have a lead. Because realistically, that was a poorly positioned fight by the side of Maya He, and they are still down over 2k gold. Most of it, if not all of it, still on this Jinx, which now has 3 items.
See, the big thing about that fight that was so surprising to me is the Jinx's positioning kind of start to finish there. You look at the vision control, and the total lack of it from this Unforgiven squad is causing them so much grief this game. It was nothing short of a total miracle that Jinx did not get hit by the Nautilus hook and immediately burst by my eyes not open yet's presence there. But I mean, the hook misses. Jinx is able to get a lantern over the wall. Okay, but now you've got Jinx in the pit in a 5v4 situation. It's going to take Shen 3 seconds at least to join, and it's a death sentence for their ability to take the dragon and then the fight afterwards. So I think that if the Jinx was able to do anything, or even just don't go into the pit as Jinx, you don't have to be. You can wait until the fight is started to actually start doing stuff with Jinx. So on the overconfidence topic, it felt like Unforgiven were the ones who greatly overestimated their ability to handle that fight.
Yep, as we do see the unpause coming through here.
Hey, there we go. Team's just about ready to go on this one. Getting baited just a little bit.
Yeah. Either that or what is currently my game, which is what? Something's going on here.
What's up?
My client is doing very annoying things.
In League of Legends? Shocking.
Yes.
All right, and we have resumed now at the 24-20 mark of this game. 3 dragons to 1. Y2E has certainly had the lock on the neutral objective game so far, and with double Infernal as well as that Earth Dragon, Cassiopeia, Caitlyn, they will be able to obliterate this dragon if given the obliterate the Baron if given an opportunity. We just have to see it materialize.
I mean, they'll obliterate dragons too when those respawn. So, I mean, it's a fair statement. They'll just obliterate neutral objectives in general.
Right, and with the Caitlyn siege power, this is getting a little scary.
Yeah, the Caitlyn siege power here definitely just a little bit of a concern here for the side of Maya He, Unforgiven. They are going to have to prepare for this siege appropriately, and they're going to have to set up an ability to stop this Caitlyn from just free hitting on their turrets, whether that's a flank, a massive engage, whether that's just not even letting them reach the turret by holding a line somewhere outside of turret range. All of these are possibilities. They just have to be really careful because the gold lead has drawn close. They have to not throw away the lead that they have accrued for themselves.
Right, going to be seeing a second tower taken by the red side here. Going on down, and this is just kind of a point of equilibrium across that. It's like a 2,500 gold difference. That's really not that much. I mean, the most major difference was between 280 carries, though we have seen Caitlyn pick up that third item on that back. And Baron on the board, this is, again, very tenuous situation. Vision control going to be paramount for both of these teams. Ability to find advantages and then capitalize on them.
Yeah, they've started the stage of the game that is the Baron dance, right? I mean, they're just they're sitting around, they're watching what each other's doing, they're trying to decide, they're trying to control vision, all the while not wanting to betray any advantage to their opponents.
Right.
And that we'll just have to see who ends up winning that fight, because it is most likely going to erupt in a 5v5 or a 4v5 team fight that will result in the Baron.
That's just how these things go. The question is, will which team find the advantages? And, I mean, looking at the map vision so far, it just feels to me like Y2E have had very strong vision advantages across basically every game of this. Every minute of this game.
Yeah, they have had strong vision advantage. They have also been...
Oh, there's the Flay on to 3. Thresh going through. There's the pull on back into the front line. Looking for the Echo ult. Now a big stun. There's the taunt onto the leash. Pulled back. That's the kill. Flaming Thunder goes in with that ult. Finding the damage. Forced the flash on out defensively. Death beats by Draven in the front line. Getting shredded by the Caitlyn. A 2-for-2 so far. The late re-engage doing wonders for this Y2E squad. It ends up being a totally even fight. But as Caitlyn flashes and wants to make a difference here, gets the shutdown. That's another kill to the Caitlyn. 9-4. The engage fails. Y2E capitalizing in a big way.
Yeah, Caitlyn has now managed to get out of that power trough, which is kind of the thing that has not been accounted for on the side of Unforgiven. they kind of played a little bit of a disrespect there, allowing her to get the re-engage and then not backing off appropriately and kind of stuttering there, walking away.
Right.
And that ultimately ends in a 3-man Baron.
And I mean, the advantages accrued here are enormous, as I'm sure anyone is aware of. Looking at this team with the advantage now, it feels like this level 13 to 16 trough totally been sidestepped by the power presented with this Caitlyn, who's 9-4, nearing that 4th item, as well as the fact that you have this Baron for the incredibly strong siege, which your team is extremely good at. So
Yep, that, and as stated, now that Malphite is starting to join the fights, this Jinx is starting to be able to have less and less of an impact because this Jinx is having to play further and further back, afraid of that unstoppable force.
Right, and I think a major factor in this fight has been and will continue to be target selection. In that last fight, Thresh got a great hook onto Loco's Spoon, and he and Hexmist went down very, very quickly, but the Cassiopeia, the Caitlyn, the Malphite, all surviving the late stages of that fight, and they just did not have resources remaining to handle that, and it ended up turning the fight hugely in favor of Y2E.
Honestly, something that needs to be happening, the way that Unforgiven still win this game, first of all, is they don't give away free kills.
Ooh. And Mule Jests, this Echo, does have that ult, will be dropping lower and lower, does get me eyes no open yet there. Caitlyn in the backline still, Shen looking for a way on in. Here comes that taunt for the Caitlyn, will not land it, but Jinx and the backline already dead. Kiora able to just gun this Shen down. It's a 4 for 2, and again, Y2E Dragons kite out the fight and take home the W on it.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, they did what I said that they couldn't do, which was give free kills. The actual way that they should be approaching this is not what they're currently doing. They lose 5v5. They should stop 5v5ing. What they want to do is they want to 4v4 with the Shen in the side lane, and they want to have the Malphite matching, because if the Shen can just say the Malphite never joins the fight, you go back to doing what you were doing before, which is winning fights because the Jinx carries, because the Jinx has nothing that can get to her.
Right, and I mean, you have the Nautilus ult and stuff, but that's not really backline access. Oh, great Jinx rocket to shut down the Elise there, looking for the Malphite. Now, there may have been an overstay, but no chase out of the Malphite, just taking that pick and hopefully staunching the blood flow on this. I mean, we went from a situation where Unforgiven was 4,000 up to being a couple hundred gold down now, and with an inhib cracked.
Yeah, that is the power of Baron buff. And extra Drakes.
Oh yeah, the extra dragon gold has been, or extra dragon stats have been massive. The double infernal as well as that earth dragon crunching on objectives. The extra turret taking power cannot be underestimated. So led to the current game state. Baron's still active for a little while longer. Some more free gold to be taken across the map.
Yeah, Baron's going to be active here for about the next 25-30 seconds, if that. So maybe one more turret here with the Baron buff, unless they go ahead and defend it here, or kill the Caitlyn. Those are your two options.
Right. Shen does have that flash, does have Stand United once again. For the defense on this one will be repelling them back.
Yeah, the Baron did wear off. They weren't able to get in there and get damage on fast enough, so it does just, they do end up having to leave with just that outer turret there. Still not bad. It's still another objective, but unable to finish off the inner turret and knowing that it was time to leave.
Right. They're looking for this mid lane tower now as well. The siege from the Caitlyn as well as the threat of that Malphite is so strong. Jinx not quite with the flash yet, which I think one of the big ways that they can potentially turn this fight is if Jinx is able to outplay the Malphite. And I think that, again, Flaming Thunder has been 100% zeroing in rightfully on the Jinx with that unstoppable force. And I think there's a way that you could take this kite back fight if given the opportunity, but the pressure moving around the map here with the help of that Air Drake is nothing short of suffocating for Y2E Dragons.
When the word used to describe an outplay, or when the word used to describe where you have to use your flash is an outplay, it's really not an outplay, it's just sad.
Right. But going into the backline, Caitlyn forced to flash defensively. Shen very, very low. There's the ult in from the Malphite once again, finding that Jinx. That's 3 more kills go in the way of Dragons. And with this push pressure, I feel like this almost cements their victory.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the base ending push here for Y2E Dragons. They're able to take down the Unforgiven squad here. Really just Unforgiven. It is unfortunate. They were able to find a good mid-game advantage, but they were unable to play to their win condition. They weren't able to stop the Malphite from just jumping onto their Jinx. And if they had, maybe this game turns into a different result. But unfortunately for them, they will be dropping to Y2E Dragons, and Y2E Dragons will be moving into the final, which I will assume is against Drift Esports.
All right, with that being said, we'll be right back in just 4 minutes for our third and final game of the Scrim Gyms tonight. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you all in a few more minutes on the XLNC Twitch.tv channel.